Hello, and welcome back to TimeSplitters in Detail. In this episode we're going to take a look at unused arcade levels in TimeSplitters 2. If you've watched my previous videos on Siberia for TimeSplitters in Detail, I showed that whilst that level isn't selectable as an arcade level normally, it does indeed appear to function for Deathmatch, Shrink, and Elimination in the Arcade League, as you can see here from the Arcade League level shrinking from the coal. Using some tricks, I'm able to force the game to play an arcade custom setup as normal, but load Siberia as the main level. I'll start off with a simple deathmatch. Deathmatch seems to function well. All players are spawned in the starting area of the level, and there are set locations for weapons, health, and armour to spawn. Like in the Arcade League levels, you're restricted to the starting area as the door to the dam is locked. I would say that this level plays nearly perfectly for deathmatch and similar modes. It's a little like Compound in the sense that you're in an enclosed space with a few buildings to duck and dive around. Team deathmatch seems to function perfectly too. Players all spawn in the correct location and act normally. I did notice one of the AI players managed to open the door to the dam, but this was likely the AI being confused. Otherwise, this game mode seems to work fine. Capture the bag is where things start to go a little wrong. The first problem is that players seem to be spawned in random locations across the whole of the map. This can cause issues, as to navigate the level fully, the AI will need to open a few doors for you. Not that it will matter, as it doesn't seem any bags spawn at all. I've searched the map thoroughly and can't find any team base, as I imagine they simply have not been added. The AI will still act as if trying to find a bag, and will sometimes defend random areas. Otherwise, this game mode is unfinished and broken. Bag tag is very much the same. Players start in a completely random location across the map. The AI will attempt to hunt for a bag and prioritise that over attacking each other, though sadly there is no bag located in this level. It's even possible to spawn on top of the dam in this mode, though there is no way down due to the lifts being unpowered. I'll power the lifts at a later stage during arcade mode to show what happens. As expected, Elimination seems to work perfectly. There are no odd spawning locations and the AI act normal. It's worth noting that in most game modes, such as Elimination, the AI are set to act as though they are playing Deathmatch. Shrink works perfectly as well. Once again, this isn't a surprise as this mode is included in the Arcade League, but it's still nice this mode is fully operational and playable. I suspected Vampire would work fine as well, and it does. This is likely because the game is essentially playing a deathmatch with slightly modified rules to deplete and replenish the player's health. Another fully working game mode for Siberia. Thief works fine too. This mode basically works like Deathmatch as far as the AI and level are concerned. I wasn't too sure how Flametech would be, but I'd say it's partially working. You can spawn in any random location on the map once again, which means it's possible you start off in a locked room or at the top of the dam. The mode itself does seem to be working perfectly well, so it's just the map which causes trouble here. Virus seems to work identical to Flametech. You can spawn in at any point on the map, which has its problems. The game mode does seem to work, however, with the infected AI hunting other players down. There's not much to say about regeneration and leech. They both work perfectly fine, as the game treats these modes as death matches with slight modifications to the game rules. I did notice whilst playing that AI who are set on fire seem to always run towards the damn door, which opens it. I'm curious as to whether or not the shower room across the map is flagged as a spot for bots on fire to go to. I was interested to see what would happen when playing zones, but as you can see here, it just doesn't load the level. It's likely that the required logic for zones just isn't here, causing the game to crash. Assault was quite interesting. I certainly didn't expect it to work properly, and well, it doesn't. The second you start the game, the match is over. I reloaded the level, but this time forced the game to remain in a normal play state, and well, this happened. When the AI respawn, they seem to sort of attack each other and run around aimlessly. Gladiator works with no problems. Once again, this is another mode relying on the deathmatch logic with a few tweaks, so thankfully this mode can be enjoyed on Siberia with no issue. The final selectable mode in the game is Monkey Assistant, which works great. As I've said a lot during this video, this mode runs on the deathmatch logic with some tweaks, so it plays fine here. Now that we've looked at the selectable modes, let's have a quick look at the few other modes we can set the game to. You'll notice on the menu here at the top it says Map Maker Preview. This is normally reserved for the Map Maker tool, but we can set Siberia to this state. I guess it works as intended. It's interesting to see the AI bots do not attack the player or each other, and simply run to spots where objects spawn. Another mode, which appears to be incomplete, is one-on-one. I have heard of this being an unfinished mode in TimeSplitters Future Perfect. Whilst I can set it in the menu, the game defaults to a deathmatch. I'd be interested to know what would happen in this mode if it would work properly. The final unselectable mode is Story Mode. Just setting this in the menu will cause the game to load a deathmatch. I can try to set the level to the same mode, so to speak, as it uses in Story, or even some challenge mode levels, but the loading bar simply stops and the game crashes when I do this. I mentioned earlier that I'd activate the lifts in arcade mode to see what the AI do. They sort of seem to use them. Sometimes it appears they activate the lift and teleport to different levels, and other times they just blatantly appear out of nowhere. It was interesting to see the AI attempting to use the lifts. At least they could access the top of the dam. Now that I've played the arcade version of Siberia to some extent, I thought I'd finish with my thoughts on the map itself. It's obvious that this level has been coded to the bare minimum, so that it works correctly in the arcade league, but I do get the feeling perhaps at some stage it was intended to be included as a proper arcade level. Whilst it plays fine, it feels extremely cramped with a full set of bots, and there's very few weapon pickups. It's fine for small focused matches in its current state, but that's about it. With some edits to force all the doors open, I think Flametech and Virus could be quite fun, with such a huge environment to play in. That being said, most of it is wasted. You could have a great assault mode here, maybe requiring a team to reach the top of the dam after activating the lifts, or making their way through one side of the dam to the other. With that, we've come to the end of part 1 for unused arcade levels. In the next episode I'll be taking a look at Notre Dame. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.